Welcome back to the Daily Bollocks. Today, we are looking at the patron saint of Benidorm, Paul Thorpe, the man who's bravely leading the British working class revolution from the absolute safety of a Spanish sunbed. You see, we are dealing with the two faces of a so-called patriot. Face one is the humble guest. Paul has a very strict set of rules for himself now that he's an expat. He believes because he's a lucky guest in Spain, he must stay out of their local politics. When asked about the Spanish government, our brave warrior suddenly finds his manners. He tells his audience, and I quote, "I don't like it when foreigners come to the UK and start telling us how to run our country, and I'm certainly not going to be guilty of doing that here in Spain." Beautiful, innit? Such respect, such decorum from the man sipping a striller on the Costa Blanca, a standard of absolute respect for the host nation. But that brings us to face two, the arrogant host, because the moment Paul points his webcam back at Blighty, that Spanish rule magically vanishes. Paul operates what we call a one-way mirror. He demands the English working class sit quietly, while non-native callers are elevated to a VIP line and handed a megaphone to dictate British politics. And if the native audience pushes back, they hit a brick wall. They get muted, blocked, insulted and purged for dissenting. Which brings us to the absolute darkest, most embarrassing moment in this counterfeit operation, the Rao broadcast. Rao, a self-identified Indian Sikh caller, was granted an uninterrupted platform by Thorpe to aggressively lecture the indigenous English audience. Rao didn't just disagree with them, he actively blamed the working class audience for the downfall of their own country. He told the audience, "English folks, you've brought this upon yourselves. You became sloppy and lazy after World War II. And then he dropped the ultimate insult. To score a bizarre rhetorical point for Thorpe's political script, this deployed caller openly degraded the ancestors of the British people. He told the audience, before Christianity, the English Brit was nothing more than a pig rolling in the mud. Now, how do you think Paul Thorpe, the self-proclaimed defender of the British public, reacted? This was his moment to draw a line. This was the expectation. The host cuts him off. The host defends his core audience. The host condemns the slur. But what was the reality? Our brave patriot sat there in utter silence. He nodded along. He accepted the degradation. And then came the ultimate betrayal. Did he tell Rao to stop? No, he begged his live chat. "What a call, Rao, thank you so much. Can everyone just give Rao a round of applause in the comment there?" He demanded a round of applause. A true patriot defends his people. A counterfeit patriot demands his audience applaud their own degradation. Why did he do it? Because Paul Thorpe was a grifter in free fall. He admitted it had lost almost 600 subscribers and was getting absolutely fucking battered because his watered-down political narrative was failing. So he needed a planted asset to tell his audience they were wrong without taking the heat himself. And when his own audience rightfully revolted against this, the nice Grandad mask completely slipped. Thorpe resorted to name-calling on a live broadcast, screaming that his critics were rats and snakes who were making a treasonous move. He reserves all his venom only for the native working-class patriots who dare to question him. Let's look at the inescapable hypocrisy once last. In Spain, his stance is, "I'm just a guest, it's not my business." But in England, he demands applause for a foreigner calling English ancestors pigs in the mud. A man who demands respect for his Spanish hosts, but demands applause for those who degrade his English ancestors, is no patriot at all. He's a counterfeit, and the grift is over. If you're tired of the counterfeit politics and want the actual truth, make sure you hit that like button, drop a comment and subscribe to the channel so you never miss an expose. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.